All right, this is tip number one for the new gardener. Don't mind that looks like what's poison ivy over there to the right, growing on my porch. I did plant in the front yard a zucchini and squash, but what I did was planted one zucchini and one squash up here. I think it was more like a science experiment than actually growing, because if you have one of each, it's very difficult for the plants, the flowers, the plants to be pollinated when you only have one of that plant. So I would suggest anything you get, just try to get two or at least three of the same plant. Even if that means that you are getting less types of plants, you at least know that you'll have a chance of these growing. So I have some other, again, I think this was really a science experiment, because I have some other squash and zucchini in the backyard that while it's newer, I think it's going to do better. So just follow this tip, two or three of each plant. Tip number two. So tip number two is your plants are going to start off small and then they're going to grow huge. So when you read the information on your plants, make sure that you space them out, and guess what? Add some more space. At first my plants looked really small, and I felt like I had a lot of room that things would be able to grow. And guess what? I've got corn right close to my tomatoes. Although I think they love each other, they're a little bit close together. They're getting a little bit crowded. So space and a little bit more space. Tip number three, your plants will tell you when they need watering. Some plants need more water than others, and especially your zone area will let you know if you need to put more water on your plants. Like right now, these tomatoes are saying we're thirsty. While maybe some of my other plants, my tomatoes might be saying, well, we're okay right now. So listen to your plants and water as needed. And some plants, especially in the summer, will require watering twice a day. I'm in Georgia, and these tomatoes require watering twice a day on the very, very hot days. Tip number four, find out what your plants need to grow. You can research any sort of plant, anything that you're growing. The other day, I sprayed these peppers with a mixture of 1 teaspoon of Epsom salt and 4 cups of water. Sprayed it on the plant, and I'm telling you, can you see this? Look how many flowers. Look how many baby mini. Look at all of them. All of my peppers. So they really like this. So look at that. And get rid of any spider webs. So some of my other plants like banana water. Banana water is good. You take your banana peels, put it in a jar of water for about 2 to 3 days, and then you can use it and pour it on your plants, and they love it. It helps them to grow. I do believe that the banana water and the other thing I used on these tomato plants has helped them to grow. I think they're about 6 feet tall now. Organic is best. And tip number 5, don't be afraid to transplant. So I started these tomato plants as a seed, and I'm gonna be honest, I moved probably about 6 or 7 plants, and it looks like they're still crowded, so I may have to move some more. So, and I'm probably not gonna move the ones that have little tomatoes on it. See, this one's leaning over. I'm gonna have to get something to help it stand. But don't be afraid to move your plants. If they're too crowded, they're not going to be able to grow well. So what you have to do is carefully move them to another spot, and then make sure you give some sort of plant food or fertilizer to make sure that you let your plants know that you care about them. I think they go into a little bit of a shock when they're moved from one spot to another. Here's a line that goes practically across the whole back of my yard. My tip is to prune. I pruned them at the end of the last season, but I don't know if I pruned well enough. I have them growing everywhere, including on this line up here. So I'm hoping that my grapes will be healthy, but I am wondering a little bit because they have grown so much. I may not have pruned enough. And I know I didn't prune my blackberry bush very much because my blackberries are small. Some of them are small this year. They're still sweet and tasty, but they're kind of small. So the section of blackberry that I did prune have much bigger blackberries. I'm sorry, excuse my pond. The landscaper came, and now there's grass in my pond, my water feature. So that's your bonus tip. Don't forget to prune at the end of the season. Okay, this is my bonus. Don't feel like if you don't have a big yard that you can't have a garden. You can put things in pots. I mean, my yard is not very big. A lot of it is a hill. So I utilized the space that I had. And I have a lot of things growing. But pots are all right too. As a matter of fact, they might be a little bit easier for some people in small spaces. All you have to do is come out and just water. You have less chance of weeds and less chance of a lot of bugs. I love my garden, and my garden loves me. The garden has been an amazing place for me during the COVID. I've gotten a lot of peace, a lot of joy, and I'm telling you, even on the days that I feel frustrated, that I can't go places, I can't do things, I come out here and spend time with my plants, watering them, giving them plant food, fertilizer. It just changes things for me. So I'm telling you, if you get a chance, go ahead and start a garden. It'll take a little time, a little work, but I'm telling you, it's worth it. Happy gardening.